Welcome to Most Loved Wrestling, the place where wrestling is most loved. Now, last Friday we had a decent episode of SmackDown. Unfortunately, no Roman Reigns, no Nia Jax, no Bayley, but we made do with what we had and we came up with a good product. But it cannot be denied, it would have been better with those people present. Either way, that's concluded. Now we're going to talk about what happened and give out them MVPs. But before we do that, put a like on this video, subscribe to my bullshit, and hit the notification bell. It helps with the algorithm. So if you like what I'm doing and believe that the world deserves to bear witness, then this is how you can make it happen. At the top of SmackDown, we get an injury update from War Games. Unfortunately, 3 men left the cage all jacked up. Bronson Reed broke his foot with a tsunami from the top of the cage. Tangaloa tore his bicep while catching a beating from CM Punk with his toolbox, and Jimmy's Uso splashed from the top of the cage broke his toe. With the combined casualties and the fact that they lost on Saturday, the new Bloodline are pissed. And it's a bad day to be Apollo Crews and some random set of security guards, possibly some future world champions, because the Bloodline are on a rampage as soon as they hit the arena. Now the real kickoff to the show saw Cody Rhodes come to promote his match with KO at Saturday night's main event, when he was cut by Chad Gable and American Made. This is good, as I've been asking. Chaddy Daddy is coming to SmackDown. This is the best place for him. Anyway, he calls the crowd gullible for some cheap heat, and he says whilst Cody has been a good champ, he has been a terrible friend, and he ain't loyal like Kevin Owens. And he would know, because he was done dirty by Otis, who also left him high and dry when he was at a low point. And he says that Cody isn't who he thought he was. In fact, Cody's the definition of superficial. He teamed with the one guy that made KO's life a living hell, and whatever you got coming to you, you deserve it. Cody says he's disappointed because he sees a lot of himself in Chad Gable. Just like he was forced to be Shorty G, he was forced to be Stardust. They both made the best of their situation and maximized their minutes. So he knows and understands why Chad Gable has been able to accrue so much respect with the locker room. So you look at me with the WWE Championship and think that you have nothing to lose, but you are wrong. Because what happens when you fail? When I lost at WrestleMania 39, I could only blame myself. So what happens when you go for your endgame one more time and fail? Do you disrespect Brutus? Does Ivy now get hurt in the wake of your self-destruction? What about Julius? Does he crumble because you can't take the blame? Chad Gable has heard enough. Cody, don't talk like you know me. I would take the opportunity. If I didn't have this suit on right now, I'd whip your ass. Now it's Cody that's heard enough. He says, what? Well, I know you're going to talk to Nick Aldis about this transfer window, but while you're there, ask him if he can go one-on-one with me tonight. And Chad, I got KO on my mind, so that's not good for you. Bianca Belair and Naomi are preparing for her US Championship Tournament match. Now that War Games is out of the way, Bianca can focus on finding out exactly who murdered Jade Cargill. Chelsea Green and Piper Niven have come to antagonize her by mocking her for her loss in the tournament to yours truly. Bianca makes Piper a potential suspect in her investigation because she wasn't at ringside as per usual. Piper doesn't like to be accused and threatens to put Bianca in the hospital next to Jade. She says, in fact, there's 2 of us and 1 of you, so let's do this now. They take advantage of the numbers game and her rib injury from War Games, and they proceed to lay off the SmackDown on Bianca Belair. It's now time for the United States Championship Tournament triple threat, and we find out that Jesse the Body Ventura will be calling Saturday night's main event. But anyway, the match starts and Elektra is looking like a powerhouse, overpowering Naomi and Stratton early. Naomi nearly fell to her death, but she's got crazy athleticism, so the devil could not prevail, and she was about to close the match after disposing of Candice LeRae, who had no business being at ringside. But then Tiffany Stratton capitalizes on Naomi's work, pinning Elektra Lopez to pick up the victory in front of her hometown. The commentary table receives a report of some commotion backstage. We find that commotion is the Street Profits have been wasted by an unknown assailant. But we're not retarded. It was obviously Tommaso Ciampa, if not both members of DIY. Nick Aldis calls off the Tag Team Championship match, but ironically, Johnny Gargano is right there on the scene and says that DIY is willing to step right in. Now Aldis wasn't about to do it, but the Machine Guns accept the challenge. Next is Bianca Belair versus Piper Niven. Piper Niven is zoned in on the injured ribs of the UST, and Chelsea Green is doing her usual stick, cheating on the outside. And these two done some spectacular professional wrestling. Chelsea interfered one too many times and got herself introduced to the ring by Bianca, and then was squashed under a KOD from Belair to Niven to secure the win. And it's made official. We will see the leader of American Made, Chad Gable, go one-on-one with the WWE Undisputed Champion, Cody Rhodes. We'll get a promo package for the new United States Champion, Shinsuke Nakamura. I still can't believe they went through with it, and I'm glad to see them putting some respect on his name. Bianca and Naomi had an interview with Byron Saxton, where he himself clears Piper's name as a potential suspect in the case of who game ended Jade. Both of them say regardless, they still got many suspects, and when they find out who it is, it's over for them. Shinsuke comes to the ring, I'm guessing to celebrate his championship victory, which is immediately interrupted by the former champ, LA Knight. He's not wasting no time at all, he wants his rematch ASAP. And he's got his mist blockers on, which is really just a pair of LA Knight shades, and he is coming to get himself some of Shinsuke right now. Now it's Andrade that interrupts, saying that he wants a shot at Shinsuke's United States Championship. And then he gets interrupted. This time it's by the Bloodline, who wrecks Andrade and LA Knight. And it's interesting to see the Bloodline let Shinsuke get away without catching any beating at all. Now I don't know whether it's because he showed them the mist before leaving, but either way, interesting. Solo turns his attention back to Andrade and LA Knight, spikes Andrade, spikes Knight, and he's making sure that the world knows that the Bloodline is not weakened just because they lost 2 soldiers. If you step up, you'll get laid out every single time. I'm tired of you not taking me seriously. I'm tired of you thinking I'm a joke. You can laugh all you want because I'm still your tribal chief. I'm still head of the table and I still got the Ulafala. So to anyone that wants to come down to this ring, you're going to end up doing the same thing that each and every one of you will do. Minneapolis, acknowledge me. Now Tommaso Ciampa, whilst he is happy about the tag titles match, things between him and Johnny still ain't straight. He says, don't think that I've forgotten about what I told you last week, because you still haven't given me an answer. But I guess we'll find out soon enough. Kevin Owens is annoyed at the fact that they've told him he has to come to Minneapolis for an interview with Michael Cole. He refuses to come in and conduct the interview, as he's been consistently denied access to WWE buildings. So if Michael Cole wants to get this interview done, he's gonna have to come out here. The WWE Tag Team Championships are on the line. Challengers DIY versus reigning champs Motor City Machine Gun. And Ciampa and Gargano are not on the same page at all. Ciampa is wrestling with vitriol and aggression, whilst Gargano is using technical wrestling and rest holds. At one point, Tommaso miscues and kicks Johnny Gargano off of the apron, but he doesn't even care, calling him stupid. When Johnny gets back up, he's blind tagged, and Tommaso wants to see something. And of course, Johnny does nothing but throw his opponent into the ring, which leaves Tommaso Ciampa vexed. And now it's Johnny Gargano who has had enough. Now it's him that pushes Ciampa on his ass, and you're hearing Tommaso say, DIY is done, it is over. Now when Motor City are about to put Gargano away, he punches Chris Sabin in the dick and super kicks a surprised Alex Shelley. It was a ruse. DIY was on the same page all along. They hit Meet Me in the Middle and regained the WWE Tag Team Championship. And then they're celebrating with Johnny's wife Candice LeRae in the locker room. Michael Cole heads to the back to do this interview with Kevin Owens in his rental car of all places. KO doesn't believe it's possible for Michael Cole to provide an unbiased interview when it's about Kevin Owens and Cody Rhodes. Michael says that's unfair. I've known you for over 10 years. We've done a load of interviews back in NXT. I've been one of your biggest supporters until just recently. Now Kevin is stating some facts. How many times was you sitting at the commentary table watching Roman Reigns try to end my career, and then Cody Rhodes goes to Bad Blood to tag with Roman, and then he wants to call me an egomaniac, says that I'm obsessed with being the top guy, when he's the one that left in 2016 because he wasn't happy with the opportunities that he's been presented. And then when he comes back, it's all about Cody. Got his stupid logo everywhere, and he has not 1, not 2, but 3 sets of pyro. Now Michael chimes in, says Kevin, it's not just Cody. Jimmy, Jay and Sammy all helped Roman. And Kevin says, I don't care about Jimmy and Jay, that's his family. If they want to be stupid, let them do it. And when it comes to Sami Zayn, we will cross that bridge when we get to it. But right now, I'm focused on Cody Rhodes and his betrayal. And you know what, Michael? You don't have any friends, so you don't understand what betrayal is. Cody Rhodes was my friend, and he spat in my face. He stabbed me in the back. Michael turns to Kevin and says, can I give you some advice, Kevin? You're being petty, and you need to look in the mirror. You're the problem. And I swear, Kevin Owens was flabbergasted. He kicked this man out. He kicked Michael Cole out of his rental vehicle, then called him back, only to wind up the window on him. Now we've got Nick Aldis backstage, and he looks pleased with his conversation with the World Heavyweight Champion, the Ring General, Gunther. Melo approaches to talk about his position on SmackDown whilst these transfers are taking place, and he makes a threat to have Monday Night Melo on Netflix. But Nick Aldis welcomes the idea of him going over to Raw and being Adam Pearce's problem. But seeing as you mention it, I do have someone very special in mind for you. Now it's the main event, the WWE Champion Cody Rhodes versus Chad Gable. At one point, Chad is hit by a Cody cutter, but is pulled out of danger by the Creeds. But they're way too bait, and the ref has no choice but to eject them from ringside. Chad's done some damage to the ankle of Cody Rhodes, and now he's removing the boot so that he can perform the ankle lock with no protection. This ends up leaving the champ a wounded animal. After more back and forth and a series of reverse signature moves, Cody hits a crossroll after reversing a moonsault to close the match. Unfortunately for Cody, KO smells blood in the water. He appears from absolutely nowhere, standing over Cody. and he stomps on the injured ankle of the champion, which turns into an all-out brawl. These guys are fighting with security and officials trying to separate them, but it's all in vain because these guys was fighting it out till way after the credits came down. My thoughts on the show: Bronson Reed, Jimmy Uso, and the Tribal Chief Tangaloa, thank you for putting your health on the line for our entertainment, as well as a large paycheck. But maybe we gotta stop jumping off of the cage. Edge did it and broke his legs. Now Bronson and Jimmy Dunn broke their ankles and toes. Honestly, I would rather have you on my TV screen each and every week than sacrifice you on one night for one highlight reel. Take Bronson Reed for instance. He has been on a roll of a lifetime, and before the injury had a ton of momentum. I fear that by the time we are done with the surgery and rehabilitation, that he might not be able to get that same momentum back. Well, I guess that's something we'll have to deal with when we get there. Raw, SmackDown and NXT will be trading talent. Now, it's always good to get a shuffle of the deck, and it seems they're not making the same mistake as they did earlier this year. We saw Gunther having a conversation with Nick Aldis, meaning that this time, champions are not immune. Because let's be honest, that took away some of the fun, some of the drama of having a draft in the first place. Speaking of drama, Nick has someone special just in mind for Carmelo Hayes. No doubt in my mind, that person's Trick Williams. People are showing up on other shows, and they made it clear that NXT is part of the negotiations. But correct me if I'm wrong, don't the superstars just turn up where they want anyway? It seems like Bianca Belair is a hazard to be associated with at the moment. Jade gets smashed through a windshield. She herself gets jumped by Chelsea and Piper. And now the Street Profits get surprise attacked. No doubt that was by DIY. Now they lost their opportunity for the tag team titles after a 4-year drought. Now I know these situations are not all related, but maybe Naomi should stop chilling with her before she gets work too. Now Bianca's doing all this detective work, but I have a feeling that they're going to overcomplicate this and make it Bianca herself. But like, why? I get it, to make them have a rivalry, but it doesn't make any sense. You have a championship to defend together, and you had a tournament match that night. I would have to ask her, where was the profit in you attacking Jade Cargill? So I hope that they don't take this route, but anything is possible in the WWE. Even when you can poke it full of holes. If I'm to be honest, I'm actually stuck for who to accuse of wrapping up Jade. The way they're doing things, I don't even think Naomi and Bayley are immune from blame. But what if either of them just wanted to get Bayley into the War Games match and thought that this was the only way to go? Or what if for some weird reason they considered Jade to be in their way, or they was even jealous of her position? And this could be whether they acted together or acted separately. Either way doesn't make sense, but it is a potential storyline. What's not being considered as potential is the potential of returning superstars. Like, what if it's Charlotte Flair or Becky Lynch? But like I said, if it's not the heel team from War Games doing, I do not know. But just don't make it Bianca. It honestly makes no sense. Whilst we're on the ladies, Tiffany Stratton, that's my goat of the women's division. Anyone that watches my videos would know that. And I celebrate literally any victory that she gets. Even when she took Money in the Bank, stole Money in the Bank from Chelsea Green. But this time, I cannot. She should not have won that match. She already has the Money in the Bank. She does not need this. And I don't give a flying toss if it was in Minnesota or not. That should have been Naomi's win. She really hasn't received fuck all from returning to the WWE. Okay, fine. She's way more respected than her first run. But respect doesn't go on the resume, and it damn sure don't pay no bills. I think this is a big fat fucking L. Tiffany, forgive me. But this narrows down my picks to be the inaugural champion down to Chelsea Green and Meechin. But I'm starting to grow a little anxiety that they're going to make it Bayley, which in my opinion would kind of defeat the objective of this championship. Like, is this championship not brought here to create opportunities for the mid-card? Bayley is not mid-card. I just gotta say it, I hate Motor City Machine Gun's WWE feud. Just use the TNA feud. You guys are working closely together. What's the reason for this garbage? Fix it. But you know what is not garbage? And you know what doesn't need fixing? DIY's heel turn. Now I knew it was coming, we all knew it was coming, but it was still effective. It still got a reaction out of me, and no doubt got a reaction out of others. And we are now in unexplored territory with DIY as a heel tag team. Yeah, we've seen Johnny Gargano as a heel, we've seen Tommaso Ciampa as a heel, but we've never seen them as a heel tag team. And looking at this, it was probably a poor time to release Indy Hartwell. I think we have the recipe for the reunion of the way. Kevin Owens really doesn't tell any lies. He may be a bit delusional, and he may go about resolving his issues the wrong way, but that doesn't mean that he isn't somewhat justified. That's not me condoning, that's me understanding. There's a big difference, and I think that KO is possibly the funniest man in the WWE. You don't have any friends, Michael. He stabbed me in the back, and then winding up the window. Honestly, it's a science what he does. Not a lot of people can do comedy the way KO does it, and I think there's just something in the water over in Canada. Sammy, Kevin, Chelsea, all of them hilarious individuals and are very committed to giving the character their all. But the WWE has been doing some great work between the Bloodline series, the New Day, Cody Rhodes and Kevin Owens. They have had some stellar writing. New Day has been the best as of recent, but that doesn't take away from the rest. Like I said, no Roman Reigns, no Nia Jax, no Bayley. The show could have been better, but I feel they did a good job for what they had. And now it's time for them MVPs. In 5th place, I got Chad Gable. This man come to SmackDown, he shook things up a little bit. I love the prospect of him and Cody, and then realizing that they had good chemistry, and then a short but fire main event. I can't even be mad at it. Oh yeah, and the sell of that Crossroads. In 4th place, WWE Undisputed Champion, Cody Rhodes. He's here because, as per usual, he's reliable when he's on the stick. He versus Chad Gable was a fire match as long as it lasted. Then the brawl at the end of the show. It seems like Kevin is bringing the worst out of him. Good shit from the WWE champ. In 3rd place, we're going to go with the New Bloodline. They was on their bully-ish on Friday, and they done it well. A good way to bounce back from getting slumped in War Games is to leave others slumped. Not to mention Solo's evolution is a mystery, full of changes no one sees. Okay, no, I'm sorry. I saw my opportunity and I took it. But his evolution has been something. His character work and his promo skills have risen, and you have to acknowledge that, even if you refuse to acknowledge him. In 2nd place, DIY. No surprise here, they won back their tag belts, they turned heel, they made headlines, they jumped the Street Profits, even though that's not official, but we know that they did, and Johnny betrayed the Motor City Machine Guns. I guess that means that the Profits were right all along. Some snakes hide in the grass. And in 1st place, the MVP of SmackDown, none other than Kevin Owens. His comedy even works as a heel, and even though he's funny, I still feel very, very threatened by him. The only person I know that has been able to pull that off since Sting in TNA when he had his Joker gimmick. The car scene with Michael Cole, that's something that I think will be spoke about for years to come. It was simple but effective. The best segment of the show and 2nd best segment of last week. So congrats to KO on being the MVP. But that's all I got for you today. Thank you for listening to my bullshit. Don't forget to leave a like. Remember to subscribe and leave your thoughts in the comment section down below.